What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. I am at the project site today. I wanted to do a full walking tour of the food forest, kind of show you, give you a peek of what's growing right now and what we're harvesting at this time of year. It is the end of July, coming into August 2022 in Zone 8, South Carolina, and we have got a lot of stuff happening out here. Starting here at the bottom of the hill, we have our vegetable mandala garden that is water fed by all the swales up the hill. And some things that are setting fruit right now are things like watermelon. We have pumpkin vines that are setting fruit, and fruit is starting to change color for us. Here's some more pumpkins over here. There's another pumpkin right over here. We have okra starting to set fruit and to flower. I do enjoy okra. Okra is one of my favorite flowers to look at. And I'm sure you can see the pollinators coming on here. Here they starting to set some okra. Some more okra fruit being set. Tomatoes are coming on here in the veggie garden and starting to change color. I have a bunch of different varieties of tomato. We have all different types of squash growing out here. We have butternut squash, spaghetti squash, all starting to put on. We have zucchini putting on, yellow squash putting on. We have peppers, jalapeno peppers, cayenne peppers, a few pepper plants here that are starting to look a little productive. Here's another watermelon over here starting to change color. Where'd that watermelon go? Here we go. Here's a big watermelon starting to change color. So it's been pretty productive this year so far, garden fans. We've had a good amount of rain this summer. It's been raining pretty heavy at least once a week, which means that I don't necessarily have to come out here and fill up these swales every week that I'm out here. We're certainly letting the plants do their job and get established. It hasn't been terribly hot. We haven't broken too many 100-degree days. Some things we're going to be harvesting here next month are going to be figs, and I've got a whole row of figs here interspersed with Elaeagnus, multifloria, gummyberry, and the figs are certainly going to be putting on here next month. We have a bunch of different variety of figs. We have Celeste figs, Black Mission figs, Brown Turkey figs, LSU Gold, and not all of the fig trees we have are producing, but the hardiest of hardy ones certainly are putting on right now. Some things we've been harvesting the past 3 weeks are gummyberry, and gummyberry are very productive out here in the food forest. This is our nitrogen fixation plant here, and I have been harvesting piles, gallons of these berries over the past 2 weeks, and there are still tons of berries left on these shrubs. So gummyberry is one that we've been harvesting over the past couple weeks, and we're not quite done harvesting yet. Some other things we've been harvesting this month have been elderberry, and I'll get to some elderberry. Here's a LSU Gold fig starting to set fruit. Okay, let me go show you some elderberry here. We have an elderberry, a hedge of elderberry here that we've been harvesting from the past couple weeks. So currently we are in an abundant supply of gummyberry and elder. Here are the elderberries that we have been slowly harvesting off of this hedge of elderberry here. So definitely in high supply of elder right now and in gummyberry. So let me keep moving on up the hill. Some things that we're going to be harvesting next month are jujube. We have 2 different varieties of jujube out here, Lee jujube and Lang jujube. And most of the trees we have out here are absolutely loaded with fruit. And here again, this is all Mother Nature's doing. I haven't come out here. We don't fertilize. We don't pesticide. We don't do any of that, and we let kind of Mother Nature water it up. But these things are absolutely loaded with jujube this year. Once again, it's been a pretty wet summer, so these are all looking very happy. Some other things we're going to be harvesting next month. Pomegranate are starting to set fruit. Most of the pomegranate shrubs we have, the more mature ones, the bigger ones, are setting fruit. They didn't seem to get too bothered by our late frost. Here's another jujube tree, loaded down. And mind you, these are all still pretty young trees. These will get 20 to 30 feet tall and be highly productive specimens in this food forest in the future. Some things we're going to be harvesting in October, November are persimmon. And we have 2 persimmon out here, Japanese persimmon, Fuyu persimmon. These are not the astringent American variety. These are the Japanese, much sweeter variety, softer. You can kind of pick them maybe before they're totally ripe and they'll still be pretty sweet. But the persimmons that we have out here are loaded down. And here again, we have 2 of these Fuyu persimmons on site. And when they also get about 30 feet tall, you can imagine how productive they're going to be here in the landscape. Most of our trees have some sort of companion plant next to them. Just want to give you a peek at our comfrey planted here at the base of this persimmon. This comfrey loves being in the shade, especially in our hot temperatures here in South Carolina. They don't mind being a little shaded out. Let me keep moving up the hill. Here are more jujube. We've really put a lot of stock into the jujube trees because of how hardy they are, how much they produce, and how easy it is to pull up the runners and the plants that grow from seed. You know, any fruit we don't harvest, the seed is setting fruit here, and this is our tree stock to be selling in the spring. So I really like jujube for South Carolina. Here is a nice little hedgerow, small hedgerow. We have 2 pineapple guava shrubs here. And this year I did not do any kind of hand pollination, and these things still set oodles and oodles of pineapple guava, which we will be harvesting in another month or 2. It'll probably be about September, October that most of this fruit is full and ready to be harvested. So lots of pineapple guava on these shrubs. Pineapple guava is definitely one of my new favorites. I like the tropical taste at a time of year when you just don't expect it. Harvesting pineapple guava in October and November and getting that tropical taste is, for me, I enjoy it. It's fun. Hazelnuts. We have hazelnuts that are slowly getting ready to harvest. This is one of my duties today. I'm going to be harvesting a bunch of the hazelnuts off of our hazelnut bushes. So we have loads of hazelnuts on here. What I like about these is that they are already cat-kitting and getting ready to maybe set more nuts later on in the year. We have here some of the hazelnuts that are ready to be harvested from spring, but here are some summer pollinated ones that will be ready later in the fall. So I really like these hazelnuts. We're able to start harvesting off them at about this time of year, and I will continue to harvest nuts off of these trees for the next 3 months, honestly. So pretty good producer. Another pomegranate here coming on. Once again, these were all a little stunted for us when we had a late frost, but most of the pomegranates on site are still alive. Some, not all of them, are setting fruit. Another nut tree that we got growing, Chinese chestnut. Let me just step back and kind of give you a view of this companion planted thing here. We have a Chinese chestnut. This is the centerpiece. Right next to it, we have planted a gumi berry for nitrogen fixation. This is the fertilizer plant for this tree, and you can see the gumi berry. Once again, all of the gumi out here are absolutely loaded down with fruit. We have had a hard time keeping up with the production, but they're producing. And this is definitely something that we are making fruit leather out of, fruit juice out of, or just eating whole all the time. Like I said earlier about the comfrey, we have comfrey planted at the base of this Chinese chestnut, another support species. It loves living in the shade of this giant nut tree. And the Chinese chestnuts themselves are starting to come on, if that would ever focus. I do enjoy how these look. I like the spiky ball of fruit that are forming right now. These should be ready in another month or so. And what will happen is the spiky balls will drop, they'll kind of crack and drop, and I will be picking those balls up off of the ground. Some things that are growing but not harvesting right now. We have pecan trees that have been planted here from the very beginning. They are starting to get established and really blow up this year. I don't expect these to be setting nuts for maybe another year or 2. This pecan has, of course, Elaeagnus, a gumi berry planted next to it, Elaeagnus multiflorea. Some things we planted last year that are still alive. We experimented doing some olives, and we have a few olive trees that are still alive. We planted 5 of them, and we have three of them that are still left and still alive. The others took some damage in our late frost, so we're trying to, gonna replan, reassess, and get some other things growing in those empty spaces. To end out, garden fans, let me just give you like a full panning shot of the whole food forest. Let me get up real high here and kind of show you how the whole place looks from at the top of the hill here. It's getting to the point where after being at 6th year on, things are really starting to thicken up, get large. The nut trees are slowly starting to produce. The fruit trees are starting to reach some of their maximum size. All the shrubs in the food forest, like the Elaeagnus, I am continually pruning them down as we go throughout the year to continue to make space. Here again, there are support species, and at some point in time, all of the Elaeagnus will be chopped and dropped to the ground to be fertilizer or sacrificial plants for the trees that they are supporting. Anyway, I want to appreciate you all for coming out today, garden fans. If you have any questions about permaculture or this site in general, please just ask. As always, give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please tap that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That's what really helps us out. Appreciate you all coming. God bless.